Good morning, everyone. My name is Priyanka Bora. Today, I'll be presenting on the topic the anti corruption movement, a study of the last 5 years from 2020 to 2025. Between 2020 and 2025, the global situation changed significantly. We moved from a phase of emergency and uncertainty to a new era of digital accountability. In this presentation, I will explain how anti-corruption efforts have evolved from simple street protests to more advanced, data-driven institutional reforms. To understand this transformation, we must first look at the global situation that shaped these 5 years. The data gives us a serious picture. According to the Transparency International 2025 Corruption Perception Index, the global average is still at 43 out of 100. This stagnation is due to a perfect storm. The impact of the pandemic, increasing regional conflicts, and economic instability. However, our focus has changed. We are no longer only looking at petty corruption but also at grand corruption, which means the misuse of power by high level officials that affects entire systems and economies. The starting point of the urgency was the biggest global crisis of our generation. The COVID 19 pandemic acted as a taste of transparency across the world. In the name of emergency procurement, many governments ignored normal rules and oversight systems. We saw PPE related scandals in Europe and misuse of relief funds in countries like South Africa. This period clearly showed that transparency is not a luxury, it is essential, especially during crisis. As a result, new types of organization emerged, often called emergency watchdogs, which track government spending in real time. As as activists realized that traditional monitoring methods were not enough, they began using technological tools. By 2023, we entered the phase of digital integrity. Today, the fight against corruption uses advanced tools. Blockchain is being used to secure land records and prevent fraud. Artificial intelligence is being used to examine thousands of government contracts within seconds. AI can identify warning signs, such as a newly created company suddenly receiving a very large contract. This has increased public power as citizens can now monitor government activities more effectively. Although these tools are digital, their real impact can be seen in specific regions. In Latin America, large investigations like Lava Jato have gradually been replaced by youth-led movements that focus on long-term system change, especially in countries like Guatemala. In the Middle East, particularly in Lebanon and Iraq, the focus has shifted from changing leaders to strengthening institutions. Protesters are now demanding independent central banks and judicial systems. They understand that changing individuals without changing institutions only provides temporary solutions. These grassroots movements have started influencing international policies as well. Anti corruption has now become a central part of global governance. The UNODC's Young Guardians programs has introduced anti-corruption education in schools across more than 40 countries. At the same time, beneficial ownership registries are being promoted globally to prevent people from hiding illegal money through anonymous companies. Corruption is now seen not just as an ethical issue but as a major threat to national and global security. However, this progress has also faced strong resistance. In recent years, we have seen the rise of legalistic corruptions. Some governments misuse anti corruption laws to suppress political opponents. There is also transnational repression, where spyware is used to monitor and silence whistleblowers even outside their home countries. In many places, strict laws such as foreign agents laws are used to shut down NGOs working for transparency. This remains one of the biggest challenges for the anti corruption movement. Because governments are sometimes part of the problem, the movement has turned to another important actor, the private sector. Since 2020, corruption has increasingly been seen as a financial risk. Under ECG, environmental, social, and governance standards, investors now avoid countries with high corruption levels. We also see collective action where businesses work together to refuse bribes and create clean zones for safe investment. This shows that maintaining integrity is now also a competitive advantage in the global economy. Looking ahead, new challenges and opportunities are already emerging. The next major concern is corruption. As large investments are made in green energy, there is a high risk of misuse and greenwashing. There is also growing support for an international anti corruption code, which would help prosecute powerful leaders who cannot be held accountable in their own countries. Overall, the movement is becoming more global, more digital, and more evidence based. This brings us to the final conclusion. In conclusion, the years 2020 to 2025 shows that while corruption has become more complex, the tools to fight it have also become stronger. We have moved from street protests to digital monitoring systems. Although challenges like authoritarian control still exist, the combination of technology, youth participation, and private sector involvement provides a clear path toward greater transparency in the future. That's all. Thank you.